In progress.
Okay, cool. Good to see everyone. Today, we're going to talk about sales pipeline. Because if, let's say, I'm coaching someone, or if I want to see my own performance, the fortune isn't in the next week's or the next month's calendars or what's going to get booked on my calendar. It's what's in my pipeline right now. That's how I can predict that if I have, let's say, 500,000 or 1 million in produced pipeline, I know that 10% in the next 30, 60, 90 days will close. That's how I can make predictions around the money I want to be making, and if I should tune up activities or if I should tune down activities. Now, we're going to start off with some principles. How do we build, manage, and optimize our sales pipeline? And that goes on regardless if you're sending cold emails, if you're an inbound closer, if you're doing outreach on Instagram or social, no matter what you do, we're going to talk about it. So we're going to kick things off with some principles. I see a lot of people make this mistake. We want to manage one pipeline, one source of truth, and not inboxes. The mistake a lot of people make are they have one inbox on Facebook, one inbox on Instagram, one email, a second email, which may be a support email. These are way too many parts, and we're getting way too distracted. We're not able to manage 5 different things. Because also, these inboxes are not static. It's not that I'm going to have a conversation with someone, and even in email, I'm not going to have a conversation with someone, and that's going to stay there. What's going to happen is I'm going to receive another 20 emails a day, which the emails, the prospect, are going to get buried. So I want to make sure that in its simplest form, I have an Excel sheet that I'm putting together all the different leads and I'm managing it. And I know which lead is in which stage. That's how I'm in control. If I'm managing everything off of different inboxes, it's guaranteed that I'm losing sales. My pipeline is leaking. Second principle, I need to value every single lead that comes into my world. Unless I know for sure that someone is unqualified, they're not a fit. Like they're not a fit for what I'm selling. They actually don't have the money. You can put those to the side, but every single other lead, they need to stay in my world, even if I'm selling for someone else. We're going to see which place we're putting them, but don't underestimate the power of someone, let's say, not being a good fit right here, right now, and disqualifying them early on a call, but at the same time, putting them in a pipeline so you can follow up. And depending on what needs to happen in their mind, like what box do we need to tick, we're going to send them relevant material. It's going to make sense as we move forward. Third principle, touch points daily. Especially when we're making an offer to someone, I need to be on top of them. And I'm jumping ahead into principle number 5. Don't be afraid that you're bugging people. In 2024, people are getting hundreds, if not thousands, even subliminal messages in their head. They're not thinking about you or your email or your offer. It's until you remind them and you're pinging them and you're adding value and you're bugging them that they're actually thinking about you. Otherwise, you're an afterthought. So every time you feel that you're being pushy, think how many sales you're missing out because you're not following up enough. I'm going to repeat myself. Every time that you're about to send another email to a prospect and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'm going to bug them, they're going to curse me out. I just want you to think how many more people could you be serving and you could be selling by following up more. So touch points daily, and it can be frequent as well. Like if not daily, and if you hit up someone, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can leave a 7-day gap. But I want the principal to say daily, because too many people have a conversation today and they don't follow up for another 7 days, and the lead is gone. They've bought something else, or they've even forgot about it. Principle number 4, remember no's and maybes. No matter how stellar our sales process is, we're gonna get some no's and we're gonna get some think about it, especially when our objection handling isn't necessarily stellar. So I want to keep those people in the pipeline, and we're gonna see different ways to reactivate them and to wake them up. Number 6, gentle nudges. This blends in with the follow-up that we were discussing. But remember, people will thank you for those gentle nudges. Of course, they have to be done the right way. I'm not going to send a message that says, hey, are you ready to buy? Are you ready to get started? We're not going to be salesy. But if we nudge them and push them a little bit gently, people will actually thank you for that. Number 7, we need to keep great notes from our calls and put accurate labels, tags, and stages. So we're going to look at the pipeline stages today. I need to honor them if I want a healthy pipeline. If I make an offer and that lead is still in the lead stage and I haven't moved them into the offer made stage, the game is done. Because as part of my process, I may say, okay, today I'm going to look at offer made. But if you're not labeling things properly, you're going to miss out on someone who you think is a lead and you're still warming them up. I want to double click on keep great notes. Great notes doesn't mean 3-paragraph notes. Great notes mean I need to know the prospect's overt outcome, their motivation, what heaven looks like for them, what are they actually after, what's the biggest pain point and what's holding them back right now, and the cost of inaction, what they're missing out right now. If I get a prospect to say that they're missing out on 50,000 in sales, I want to weaponize that information by including it into my follow-up. More later on. Principle number 8. Every interaction is an opportunity to get more intel, build our case, go deeper with them, receive more pain points, or put the actual truth on the table. If they're giving me a BS objection, pardon my French, every single touch point that I have with them, even if it's on social, SMS, email, every interaction is a hunt from me for more information. That's why in the principle number 6, I'm all about gentle nudges. Every single touch doesn't have to be, hey, are you ready to buy? I'm looking for them to put the truth on the table and tell me what's really going on, why aren't they moving forward, or if they have a specific obstacle. That's when I'm able to close the sale, not when I'm only pushing them to buy. And principle number 9, I want to use the information I have from the past to re-engage. So along the different touchpoints that I have to someone, I need to add them to a master folder. If I have an Excel sheet, I need to keep those notes around their pain. So when I'm putting together the next follow-up touch, I know that right now they have a new problem. They have a critical event coming up. And before that critical event comes up, I can remind them that that's about to happen. Maybe it's time now to fix the problem. I'm going to take a pause. After looking at all the foundational principles, do we have any questions? We have a lot more stuff to cover. I'm just making a pulse check. We're looking good from what I see. Let's look at the pipeline stages. I have 6 different pipeline stages whenever I'm working with a client, whenever I'm coaching someone. I want their pipeline ideally to set up in these 6 stages. Number 1 is a lead. Number 2 is a qualified opportunity. Number 3 is offer made, when I'm presenting someone an offer. 4 is when I've closed the deal and the money has hit the bank account. Closed lost is I'm done talking to that person. It's a no, or it's a hard think about it. Or the last stage is future follow-up. And this is a stage where I was close to winning the deal, but for whatever reason, it slipped out of my fingers, and I need to be in touch with this person regularly for me to close the deal. 6 stages. Let's unpack them. What questions do we have about the 6 stages and this pipeline structure? Some people may have a more detailed one. Some people may have a simpler one. What questions do we have based on how you set up your pipelines, if you're setting up your pipelines? We're going to talk about the importance of every stage. But what's coming up for us when it comes to this pipeline structure? I want to make sure that it's clear. Any doubtful points about it? Richard.
So what about the qualifying after you talk to them, or is that before you talk to them? How do you know if they're qualified? And you got to give them the questions first.
Yeah. Someone is qualified only after I've talked to them, or I have communicated with them in some way. So I know that they fit my criteria, and based on the criteria that I have. So for us, it may be they have the money and they're willing to get help. Typically, these are the 2 criteria.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely. Cool. Let's move forward and unpack each stage. So, lead stage. What does that exactly mean? In the lead stage, we need to capture leads, obviously. Now, how we move them to the next stage is 2 key pieces. We need to make sure that they fit the criteria of the offer that we sell. If we sell, for example, like a sales coaching offer, and my ideal audience is sales professionals, business owners, and I'm talking to someone who is not in sales or isn't a business owner, obviously they don't fit the criteria, so they're unqualified. The second component of someone becoming a qualified opportunity from a lead is to have an actual problem, or at least they want help. Even if they don't have a painful problem, they want to reach a heaven of sorts. They want to get an ideal state. So someone isn't necessarily qualified for me unless I engage in a conversation with them and I put a proposition in front of them, not a proposal, a proposition in front of them that, hey, do you have this challenge? And they raise their hand and they identify and they say, yes, I have this challenge. Panagiotis, what's your question? And you can write it in the chat as well.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello from me as well. Thank you for the stage. For me, I'm like for the past year in the, let's say, high ticket sales area. I'm in the banking sector. So what I'm actually trying is to bring clients over to the bank and establish a relationship with them and for them to start working with us.
Yep.
So this is actually my sales job, if you may.
Yeah.
And my main issue here is mainly the introduction over the phone. The most, let's say, the 2 biggest issues that I have is, first of all, I'm getting stuck to the gatekeepers. Like I cannot get the actual decision makers on the phone. And the second one is that sometimes, not all of the times, I lack to create them enough interest to set a meeting with them, because our, let's say, policy is to actually set up meetings with the prospects in order to meet them in their facilities and make, let's say, the business discussion and the offer there, not on the phone. So what I'm doing on the phone is trying to close meetings, and the actual sale, I make it, let's say, on the meeting. So
Yep. You book the
what do
meeting.
you, yeah, so what do you have to propose, or what are your tips regarding these two issues that I have explained to you? Thanks in advance.
Yeah. What do you sell exactly?
Well, I can't say that I sell something specifically. Let's say that I sell current accounts. I mean, this is the first this is the first step, because it's mainly about relationship establishment and improvement rather than just sales. So,
What would be a problem that a current account would solve for them?
well, this is the one of my big issues, let's say. The thing is that, okay, we are competitive enough regarding the pricing for the transactions. The other thing that I am giving my focus on, because I have seen it work, is the interpersonal communication that we provide in relationship banking, let's say, in
Yep.
comparison with the other systemic banks. So it is a bit more complicated, because sometimes I see that I cannot transfer uh, the value proposition, let's say, especially in bigger clients, in medium clients, because they're used to getting whatever they want from their current banks. And as you have said, especially for the banking sector, going to how to say, transferring process, implementing a new bank on your business can feel like a pain in the ass on the decision maker's
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah. And it's just,
So
that will go back, and an easy, like a hack for you to, because like if you call me and you tell me, hey, change banks, we are better, you're probably
yeah,
gonna hear no, right?
exactly.
So I need to make sure that the people, when you're cold prospecting, the idea, like there's a benefit to cold prospecting versus inbound leads. Do you know what it is?
Uh, well, they have not heard you before. You can introduce yourself however you want, maybe.
Not just that, it's I can cherry pick the people that I reach out to.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Because I have also worked on the inbound, let's say, sector of the bank in the private individuals, and it's a ton different.
Yeah. Like a lot of people ignore that when we're cold calling, when we're knocking doors, whatever we're doing, when we're cold outreaching to someone, the fit criteria I can take care of. Like making sure that the people are reaching out to fit the criteria that I want. The only thing that I need to identify is, do they have a problem, or can I provide value to them so I can bring them over to me?
Yeah,
So a helpful exercise for you is, before you start your next round of prospecting, is looking at my current accounts, right? So what accounts did we close last year? It could be 500 accounts, it can be 5 accounts, I don't care. What I want to see and hear and find out is, why did people make a shift? Did they make a
yeah,
shift because they had a new CEO? Did they make a shift because they had a terrible relationship with the bank? Did they make a shift because, I don't know, right? This is
hmm,
to find out, but I'm gonna look at, for example, depends on the sample size. But if I look at, for example, 20 accounts and I see that 5 left for this reason, 10 left for those reasons, I'm gonna take the biggest reason someone switched banks, and I'm gonna craft a value proposition accordingly, number one. And
yeah,
number two, I'm gonna see if I can track down lists of prospects that fit that profile. And if I know they're gonna have that problem, I'm gonna follow that, trajectory.
Yeah, but how could you gather such kind of information? I mean, where could you find these? Where
I'm
could
gonna
you find
go
this
to my-
information?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to my current clients, and if someone in your team is supporting them, it could be a customer success member. I'm gonna ask them, hey, I see that you're
Yes.
working with X company. What are we solving for them? We have current accounts. Yes, but why did they get a current account from us?
Yeah. But what I'm talking about is not our current clients. I mean, the information that you have mentioned about the prospects. Where can you gather such information?
Okay, so you're gonna look at the avatar of your
Customer
current
persona,
client
let's say.
with the pain points. Yes, the persona.
Okay.
And you're gonna go accordingly. You have to reverse engineer. It really depends on what we're talking about.
Okay.
Might find, for example, that a particular competitor produces a lot of bad ruins client relationships. So is there a way? I don't have a step-by-step process for you because I cannot come up in 2 minutes and tell you, hey, this is the
Of course.
client that you can reach out. I'm just giving you the thinking behind it.
Yeah,
So
I get the point.
would there a way for me to enter and do some research and be more targeted with my outreach? Like this is the more strategic answer.
Okay.
The more tactical answer on how to handle it is, first of all, the gatekeeper. A lot of people overcomplicate how to get past the gatekeeper. The idea with gatekeepers is we have to double click on the actual person. Like, what does a gatekeeper do? They're there to push you away, right?
Exactly.
So
They protect, let's say, the time of the decision makers.
exactly. So what we have to do to get past the gatekeeper is we need to position ourselves and we need to use language that no one else would use. So in their brain, we don't trigger them that, oh, I should push them away.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, when we're calling and we find the decision maker, it can be as simple as, hey, is Chris there?
Yeah, I think I've heard this advice from you before, but unfortunately, due to policy, I cannot talk however I want over the phone. You see, because I've also have management behind me, listening to me. So unfortunately, also have like specific guidelines that I need to follow. Not really tight, but for example, I cannot talk to the customers in the singular.
Yeah, you can use plural, and that's fine. My point is there's a difference between, hey, this is Chris from XYZ organization. I'm calling
Yeah.
you because of X, Y, and Z. And there's a difference to, hey, is this Chris there?
Yeah, okay. I get your
Yes,
point.
it is. Okay, can you connect me just 10 seconds of his time? And in a minute, he can, oh, I'm having an aneurysm. He can tell me, he can give me a quick yes or no within 2 minutes together. Don't worry, I won't eat up his time.
Okay.
So it can be as simple as that. A lot of people overcomplicate it and do a whole value proposition. The gatekeeper isn't there, like they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
All we need to do is position ourselves in a way that we're not sounding as just another salesperson.
And how do you cope with questions like, what is this about? Where are you calling from? Etc., etc. And then after you tell them, they're like, yeah, wait a second. I mean, the most usual thing that I get is, okay, wait a second, let me connect you. The standby music, and after a couple of seconds, yeah, can you hear me? Yes, I can. Okay, he's not available right now. Can you leave an email? Can you leave your details? And they will get back to you.
Yeah, and in that case, I have to be persistent and call them over and over and over. Like I'm not gonna, if I know that, and this is where you're building a relationship with the decision maker, right?
Yeah.
If you call the same account 5 times, you can start using, and I know it's policy and everything, but I'm sure if I close 2 big accounts in a month, they could give 2 shits about the policy, pardon my French.
Yeah, you're right.
So, you know, you can bend the rules when you become a rainmaker. The main point here is, you know, try to get past the gatekeeper by using a more casual quote unquote approach and get to the point, and be persistent when it comes to getting to that person, or try to bypass the gatekeeper. Like, can you call a lot of people when it comes to CEOs, they get to the office early, even before the gatekeeper. So could you try calling them at 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m., 7 a.m. before the gatekeeper comes and they pick up, or can you fire off a quick email? I'm just giving you quick suggestions, right?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's a cool idea because I also have in my mind, now that you mention it, I have really specific timeline, like time frames where I can call. Like I'm saying that I will not call before 9 a.m. and after, let's say,
That's a
1
big
p.m.
no-no. That's a big no-no for me, because I need to, you know, like I need to play outside the box in order to find success when it comes to that.
Yeah, yeah,
I hack my way by going after relevant prospects. Like, especially when, let's say, they have a banking issue, like the gatekeeper might be out of the office until 5, but that person might be in the office, the CEO might be until 9, until 8. So that might be the best time to catch them where they are.
yeah,
Cool.
true.
I have to move forward so we can cover everyone's
Yeah,
training.
thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely. So lead stage, and I'm just giving you different ideas when it comes to the platform. So in your lead, it might come from Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, X, email list. So I can scrape an email list, a relevant email list, or even phone numbers. All of these should be included in your pipeline. When I'm having a sales call with someone, or someone raises their hand, hey Chris, I want sales coaching on Instagram, and I start qualifying that person and they don't get back to me, I'm not gonna just let them go. I can follow them, I can follow up with them on LinkedIn, I can scrape their email, send them an email, I can see if I can access their phone number. A lot of people limit themselves by thinking in one dimension, where we have a lot more dimensions to reach them on other social, email, phone number. Let's move forward to qualified. When someone moves into the qualified stage, we have to confirm a few things before we make an offer. Of course, that's where the stealth conversions process comes in and the full sales scripting and everything. But the 5 main points that I always have to honor before I extend an offer is hell. What's hell? It's that painful state. What's their pain? How long they've had it? What's the impact of that pain? Heaven, where do they want to go? How does that place looks like? How does getting to heaven is different than hell? Obstacles, what's stopping them right now from getting to heaven on their own? That's where I come in. 4, credibility. Do they see me as credible? Have I done a good job positioning myself as an expert, or even setting case studies along the way to warm up the relationship before the offer is made? 5, cost of inaction. What is it costing them to stay exactly where they are, burning and scorching in hell? And what happens if they don't make a change? If I'm able to show them that they're missing out on X amount or X time or X energy before I make the offer, the chances of me closing that deal go way up. Let's talk about next steps. The next step is obvious. We either book a sales meeting, or we can present the offer to them in that same sales call, or if it's an email conversation or a chat, we can even close the deal over email and chat. I have a specific particular method. I'll have a workshop coming up. If you don't know how to do it, we'll have a new workshop all about it, how to close deals over DMs, emails, without sales calls. Let's move into offer made. Once we make an offer in this stage, of course, we have to convert them from an opportunity to a closed deal. What matters in this stage is one freaking thing. It's the truth. Why is it the truth? What I care about is putting the truth on the table. I don't want to hear crap from them. Like, the timing is off. I want to think about it. I want to talk to X and Y and Z. What I'm looking for is the truth. I don't care necessarily. Of course, I want to close a deal. But unless I put the truth on the table and getting clear on what's the objection, what's the real objection that they're giving me, what's happening in their world that's preventing them from moving forward? Is it a limiting belief? Is it an actual event? I shouldn't let any smoke screens happen. Even if you let someone off the phone, this is something that we have to identify over our other touch points and put the truth on the table. The next step from here, once I make the offer, is, as we've discussed, frequent follow-up. I have a full YouTube video. You can check it out. How do we follow up? Search my channel for follow-up templates or something. But step number 2 is push for no. A lot of people have the bad habit of pushing for the yes. When we push people towards one direction, what typically happens? Do they do what we want, or what do? They typically do the opposite.
They do the opposite, yeah.
Exactly. People don't want to be pressured into a decision. So it's much better off, and I'm in a much better position if I'm pushing for the no and try to disqualify them so they can say yes and let them save the deal. So you'll see a lot of times in my follow-up templates, as they get colder and colder and they start ghosting me, a simple follow-up that I've used to close many deals is, hey, Chris, are we over? Or I'm looking for is a yes. Yes, we're over, and I'll close their file. But you'll be surprised around how many people know we're not over. I just have to do this thing. Handle the objection, close the deal. Closed, won, and lost. When it comes to closing the deal, when we win a deal, we have to make sure that we delight won deals. We, of course, congratulate. Let's say we take a card on call or the deal closes. I have to congratulate them for the decision. I have to reward that behavior. And when it comes to the lost deals, I want to remember them. I want to put them in my pipeline so I can be in touch with them. What's the next step, though? The next step, when it comes to won deals, is I always have the opportunity for upsells. Upsells, cross-sells, referrals. Or even testimonials. I didn't write that. Ask a testimonial. Ask for a case study. A lot of people, especially when they're selling for someone else, they don't get testimonials. Well, you can get a testimonial for you. You know that, right? You know that if you're selling for someone else or for a big company, you can tell the client, hey, congratulations for winning or congratulations for investing. Super excited for you. Would you be open to sharing your experience in a video for me specifically? Chris was great. Chris was this. Chris was that. And now, before every single one of your calls, you can use it as a marketing piece before a new prospect hops on the call with you. Because they're not talking, the new prospect is going to see, okay, this is a legit dude, because this client told me that he enjoyed the conversation, he had aha moments, and what are the chances of them joining the call when they watch someone give you a good review, share a positive experience? It goes up, right? Closed lost deals. Always find the reason why they didn't buy. And I mean the true reason. Let's say the deal is lost. Like, you try to handle the objection. They're not buying. It's closed. At the last moment, ask them or send them an email afterwards. No worries. I totally understand the timing was off for you. What made you feel that the timing was off? We're always looking to improve our service, and I would love for you to share, what made you feel that the timing was off at this point. This allows you to reopen the door, because if it's a simple objection that they haven't voiced up to that stage, you have the opportunity to handle the objection. Another piece is all those reasons, all those objections, you can create marketing for it that you can use on all your other deals going forward, so you're prepared. I see, Stanidis, not always you get the real reason. I'm not disagreeing, but this is where you need to be a little bit more persistent. So the simplest way, for example, someone says, oh yeah, the timing is not off for us. The timing wasn't right, that's why we didn't buy. That's not a problem. Besides the timing not being right, was there any other reason that you didn't buy? You can be real with me, like we're on the same team here. I'm not gonna try to sell you. We're done. I just want to make sure that I can support you moving forward. Like, it's important for me to be persistent. When I see that they're not revealing the true reason why, I can press a little bit more. You've already lost the deal, right? Yeah, and that's fine. If they lie gently to get rid of me, like, what's the worst that can happen if I press a little bit more at that stage? And I simply tell them, yeah, that's no problem. I can understand that you didn't have the money right now, but what's the real reason that you didn't move forward? I'm not going to try to sell you. I've already closed your file. I would just love to hear, like, from what's really holding you back from moving forward. You will be surprised how many people give you the truth, because people lie to me every single day. But nothing is preventing you from challenging that. The deal is lost, remember, it's done. Cool. Now, let's say you lose the deal, you put them in your pipeline. First of all, you have to reactivate them every 60 to 90 days. Go back, run a reactivation campaign. Get in there. Guys, it takes 30 seconds to write an email to get one deal. You've already spent at least 1 hour in total sending them emails, having conversations with them. It doesn't hurt to carve 30 freaking seconds every 60 to 90 days and send them an email. Keep in touch with them. Send a valuable resource, reactivate them. Templates in my YouTube channel, Google it, it's all there. And along with that, you can make a reoffer. So what a reoffer means is you're going to look at the objection that they give you, and you're going to craft an offer that handles that objection. For example, if someone gives you a time objection and you're selling, let's say, I don't know, a service, a coaching program, and someone tells you, hey, I don't have time for this. Can you put together an offer that's a more compressed version of your program and downsell them? If someone gives you a money objection, can you come up with a payment plan and go back and reoffer it to them after 30 days? I'm going to let you brainstorm, but it's a powerful tool to be able to come up with new offers and circle back with people and make them a reoffer. Future follow-up. Future follow-up is where the money is being made. Unless I get a clear yes and it's money in the bank, or a hard no and it's a lost deal, they go in my future follow-up bucket, and I will bug them until my hair goes gray. I don't care. They can bug me, they can ban me, they can tell me to F off. I've been doing it for years and I haven't still gone in jail. Don't worry about it. Of course, I'm being a little bit playful, but we need to follow up with people. Like, it doesn't hurt. Of course, if someone tells me, never contact me again, I will sue you. Okay, don't follow up. No hard feelings. But this, out of, I don't know, 1,000 people, probably happened to me once or twice. Panayotis, please, question.
Yeah, about that, I also had an experience like that, let's say. I tried to revive as you say, a former client of the bank to reinitiate the relationships with them. And I most probably called at the wrong time. And I called their personal phone number. Let's say they are one of the most popular names in the confectionery
Yep.
world in Greece. And as soon as they called me back, they're like, "Have you called me?" Yes, I've called you. I'm going like I'm Panagiotis. I'm calling from da da da, etc.
Mhm.
And then for some reason they snapped and they started acting like, "Do you know who I am?" And right now I'm in the top of my busy
Yeah.
schedule, and I can't talk anything other than work. And you, for anything else, you will call me after a specific date. And they hung up.
Yeah.
So,
And what I would say is before they hang up, I will just interrupt them. I would.
mhm,
This is the word that I will use.
mhm,
Oh my God, I'm terrible. I know I ruined your day. I'm the worst person ever. I apologize. Don't
mhm.
mistake my enthusiasm to serve you as an attempt to sell you. I'm just here to help. Is everything okay?
Okay.
This is what I will say. Is everything okay?
Yeah. So you're trying to diffuse them in a manner
Yeah.
to diffuse their anger. Okay. So this is how you handle angry prospects, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, but I have also heard that line before. So you say it works. Is everything okay?
I will watch the recording to use the exact language because there is a pro. I didn't say, I'm sorry, I'm terrible. Is everything okay? Go through and watch the entire sequence again.
Okay. Do you have anything uploaded on YouTube, you mean?
This is recorded, so you'll be able to on YouTube go to the live section
Ah,
and
okay.
you'll find
Okay.
this.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Cool. So, future follow-up, the last thing that I want to cover is, yeah, in a future follow-up, because this is a maybe, right? This is someone that we haven't been able to move to a no or to a yes, which ideally we want to do that, but no one's perfect. We will reactivate those every 30 days with a campaign. Call, email, text, different platforms, rotate them ideally, so you're not getting repetitive. And that's how it's much easier not to trigger someone, because if you keep calling them, yes, like it will start getting annoying. But if you use different platforms to contact them, it gets much easier, goes past the walls of resistance, etc., etc. Questions, concerns, doubtful points about the sales pipeline accelerator?
Uh, how do you organize your all of this information? Like, I have created, for example, an Excel sheet where I'm putting my potential prospects, my current clients, but after a while, due to the volume and due to everything, every else task that comes up, because I'm not only doing customer acquisition, I'm also doing current clients services
Mhm.
and portfolio management. I'm kind of getting lost. So, do you have any, let's say, more efficient way of organizing all of this intel and information so as not to be lost?
Well, you need a tool. You shouldn't mix clients with prospects. Like when we're talking about the sales pipeline, it should be a sales pipeline, because this allows you also, even in your clients, when someone turns into a closed won deal, you're able to see what was the last point, what was the last touch point, what was the last promise, what was the last communication you had with them before they became a client. That's where you draw a line in the sand and you say, okay, now they became a client. You're gonna have client success dashboard rather than a sales pipeline. So these two should be separate by default.
Okay.
Now, in a proper sales pipeline, let me see if I can share one. But in a proper sales pipeline, like you're not gonna have, it depends on, it can happen in an Excel sheet really. But so you don't have to necessarily use a tool, but simply like this is a tool. The tool doesn't matter. It's go high level, but this is across every single. You can use Pipedrive, HubSpot. They all do the same thing more or less. Essentially, you can see lead, different deals, qualified, different deals, offer made, different deals, closed won, closed last. And essentially, it turns into a client folder. So if I click into one person, you're able to see different data around them, notes from the call, objections they gave you, notes, etc., etc.
Yeah, unfortunately, we cannot use like applications external of the organization once. So I'm gonna try do that in Excel. But thank you anyway.
Yeah, in Excel, have each pipeline stage in a new tab. So lead tab, that's the list of leads. Different tab, qualified, different tab, offer made. So you're spreading out the information and you have a clean stage with each, you have a clean sheet with each stage.
Yeah, I'll try that. Thank.
Cool. What else do we have? Questions, concerns, doubtful points.
How do you handle the we're already satisfied with X company about what you're giving to us?
Oh, what do you like about them?
Sorry?
What do you like about them?
Hmm. And then how are you following up on that?
Continue.
About what?
Continue the conversation.
Uh-huh. So you're talking like a simulation. Well, we've been with them since the establishment of the company,
Okay.
and they've been giving us everything they want regarding prices and interest rates, etc., etc.
Well, it sounds like things are going fairly well, like with what you have in place. It doesn't sound like you did anything else. Is there anything that you would change based on your relationship with them?
Well, uh, currently, I don't think we have anything that we need to change regarding our banking because we didn't have it in plan.
Mm-hmm. No, but besides the plan, I'm not saying you should change or not change.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, in terms of your current relationship with them, is there
Yeah.
anything that you would make alterations to?
No, I don't think we need anything more right now. We're
Okay.
pretty covered.
So if there was a way where you can get higher rates in your savings or you can get faster reply rates in your support, would you be opposed to a conversation? I would imagine, like you wouldn't be open to it.
Well, of course, we're open in
How do you
case.
mean? How do you mean? In which part?
Hmm?
Which part would you want to talk about?
Like, of course, the price, first of all, the prices, if
Why
you,
is the price important to you?
well, because we make several, let's say, um,
Let's
outgoing
pause.
yeah.
What did I do?
You disarmed, let's say, their defenses regarding change, and you have actually managed to make them think about their heaven, let's say, as you said, what they would like ideally for this product or service. and if they currently have it with their partner.
Did I make a promise to you?
No.
Did I said anything hypey? Did I try to sell you something?
No, actually.
Right. Because I don't need to. Because the need is going to come from their world. All I'm doing is I want to take that no state and bring them into a yes state. Not yes to buy, yes to change anything.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yes. And they all perfectly make sense. But one of the things that, let's say, not confuse me, but make me nervous the most is right at that time when I'm speaking with them, especially on the phone, because you don't have the convenience to pause, is that my mind automatically gets in the defense mode and I'm trying too hard to close the meeting, the whatever it is, the sale. So I
Yeah.
think I'm ending up screwing it myself. So
It happens. It's the most probable thing to happen. But when that thought crosses your mind, like do the exact opposite.
what do you mean?
What did I do? Do the exact opposite. If your mind is telling you, hey, I should save the sale, I need
Yeah.
to say something smart to save them from going away, do the exact opposite. Push for the no.
Yeah.
So what did I do? So if there was a way to get higher this or better that, you wouldn't be open to a conversation.
Yeah.
We would be open. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And now what am I doing? I'm pushing you even more. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, what would you want to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Can you say it? Do you see it?
Yeah.
Cool. What else? Sneanidis, when clients who represents his client not giving you good feedback to help you close a deal that will help both of you, how should be handled? Can you give me more of an idea what you mean? I'm not sure what you mean. That's type exactly what you want and I'll reply to this. I'm looking at the chat. Richard.
Yeah. So I think you kind of answered it, but I want to pick your brain about the minimizer still. When a person says, "Well, how much did this pain has cost you in terms of money, time, energy?" And they say, "It really doesn't cost me anything. I just kind of push through it." They're very minimizer,
Mhm.
but I will give you a little carrot. They'll say, "Well, sometimes I have to sit down. It hurts, but not often."
Give me,
So they're
don't give
giving me
me
something.
don't give me a carrot. Just say, okay, but if it's not a big deal, like what had you possibly looking into fixing it?
Yeah. And then I guess that
Why not
one
just
say,
keep living with why not just keep living with pain?
"Yeah, it's not a big deal. I just, it's just annoying.
Hmm.
It's just annoying. I don't want to, I don't really think it's a big deal."
It
But
doesn't
but
sound like a
then
big
that
it doesn't
yeah,
sound like a big deal to me. What had you even consider a change?
yeah, why have you considered it? Or that one you just said, "Well, it sounds like everything's going fine. What would you change if you would want to?" Could I
Yeah,
say that too?
yeah, you can.
Just say, "Well, it doesn't sound like you have any problems. Well, if you could change something, what would it be?" "Well, maybe I could walk further." Then you get a carrot.
But I want you to be careful because when we're asking them, how has this been impacting you in terms of your money, energy, work, we're throwing too many things at them, and
Mm-hmm.
it can feel that we're giving them a direction. Instead, I want to lead them up to that point. So what I will say to them is, how long have you had this pain? 2 months. Okay, and you having this pain for 2 months,
Yeah.
how has this been affecting you? They're gonna say X. Oh, how has this been affecting maybe, your family time? Has this been costing you anything in terms of money? So it's not one question. I need to break it up into chunks.
Yeah, there's 5 questions ahead of that. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's questions ahead of that. Yeah.
Exactly. So I can peel the layers, because when they're pushing back and they're not giving me their real, like the core answer, it's a protection mechanism. Like they're trying to protect their pain. Oh, it's not too big of a deal. They're in pain, they're in the doctor's office, and they're telling me it's not that big of a deal. Like, who's bullshitting who?
Yeah, exactly. Why would they come in?
Yeah.
If it's not really impacting them, they're not coming in.
But at the same time, I shouldn't say, well, why are you here then? Because again, that will trigger resistance and they will shoot through the door.
Okay. So don't
Or,
say,
yeah, I'm not gonna say, well, why are you here then? I'm gonna say, okay, well, it doesn't sound like it is a big deal. So what had you even consider a change? Just in case I can help.
oh, why have you considered a change?
Yeah, or what had you considering making a possible change?
Yeah, why are you considering a change? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, on the minimizers. Yeah.
cool.
Because I got it like 3 of them this week.
Yeah, yeah. Let's try. I think we're triggering that. So try to be a little bit more laid back and skeptical when you're asking the question.
Yeah, why have you considered a change? Why are you considering a change then? Just real skeptical.
Yep,
All right, I'll try that. Thanks, Chris.
absolutely. What else, since we have 3 minutes? Going once. Going twice. Cool. It's been a pleasure. Keep me updated on your progress, and I'll see you next Sunday. Have a good one.
Thank-
Thank
Thanks.
you, Doc. Have a good